welcome back to another episode where we discuss AFCON 2022. So tonight we are going to select my team, or at least something close to the final template for my team. I'm not going to leave here until I select my team, and also I'm not going to edit this video anyhow. As how it is made, that's how I'm going to release it with all the mistakes, everything. So let's try and do this quickly because I don't want to take up too much of your time. So before you begin any competition, what you must learn is the rules of the competition because you don't want to go into the competition with all the rules. Now I know most of you guys play FPL, play Dream Team, UEFA, Fantasy League, and all a bunch of other fantasy leagues out there, Champman, everything. And the rules are basically similar every time. But you know it's you should go over it still, just to be sure. So as you know, just like FPL, you need 2 goalkeepers, 5 defenders, 5 midfielders, and 3 forwards. Basic. 11 players and the 3 and the 4 on the bench. They say here that after game week 3, at the end of the group stage, you receive an additional $5 million to a $100 million budget. So I don't know if this is going to work like FPL, where if once a player having a great tournament, the price will increase, and therefore if you also sell them before the price drop, you'll have extra money to add to the 5 million. I believe it should be like that, just like FPL. So we'll look out for that as the tournament progresses. So anyhow, on to the next set of rules. Players from each nation. So as we know, basically, like how it is in FPL, once you have 3 players per team, you can't have no more. The maximum you have is 3 players per team. However, after the knockout stages, remember, the number of teams get less, and therefore your selection for where you want to choose from would get limited. So I believe they will add, as I say here, after the group stage for the quarterfinals, you can have 4 players from one team, for the semifinals 8, and for the finals 12 from one single team, which is cool. That's nice. Alright. So basic to everybody who plays fantasy football, these are the various formations that you can play. 4-3-4-3, 3-5-2, 4, and going on the road. I'm not going to go through all of them in detail. Everybody know the formations. Captain and vice captain. You'll pick a captain and a vice captain every round. This is important because the captain score will be doubled. And what is the vice captain for? Alright, well, usually what has happened is for FPL and other fantasy football, if your captain doesn't play, the vice captain would get the armband, and he will get the points of the captain. So select appropriate vice captain just in case your captain doesn't start, so that your vice captain will hold points. Automatic substitutions. This is basically if one of your players didn't start, a player would come on from on the bench. So make sure you have a fairly okay bench or a strong bench. Don't have fringe players who never gonna play, because obviously when they come off the bench, they ain't gonna give you any points because they don't play. You need at least 1 player or 2 player to cover you in case of an injury. COVID going on, so anybody can get COVID, and just because they're getting rested. So you need to have at least 2 persons on the bench. Now I know with AFCON it might be a bit difficult because everybody's so expensive, especially the defenders, but try and make it happen. Try at least and make it happen. It have cheap midfielders that take a fit into it in a sense. You get 2 of your premium midfielders and you get cheap midfielders. It all depends on how you want to build a team. Either it's a strong attack or a strong defense. They say keep in mind that an automatic substitution can create an invalid formation. So let's say you have 3 men playing on the in the back. Okay, you have 3 defenders. So that means you have 2 defenders on your bench. If 3 defenders playing, because you have to pick 5 and all. let's say the two defenders on the bench has COVID, they don't get to play at all. Um, you would not be able to replace an ex defender if one doesn't start. You know, it will stay with the three defenders and it just wouldn't get the point. Okay, it would not replace one of the defenders and give you two at the back and give your other midfielder. It doesn't work like that. It must have the three upward. So a back is either a back three, a back four, or a back five. Um, let's continue reading on the rules here. So they say imagine that the first blah blah blah, or they just explaining what I just told you guys. Manual substitutions, nobody really need to go through that, but let's read it still. So they say after closing the transfer market for a game week, you can substitute players that are yet to play and also players that have already played. But they so okay. You ever play UCL fantasy football? It's just like that. Usually, um, everybody doesn't play on the same day. So on different days, you have different teams playing. So say I pick Hala to start today and I have him as the armband. So Ivory Coast plays today. Hala doesn't score. He only gives me 2 points as the captain. And I could change the captain, put on another captain for another day. Not the same day, but another day. So once you choose a captain, that will be a captain for the entire day. But the next game day, you could select a different captain, even though it's in the same game week, if you know what I'm saying. Um, what else? Scoring system, which is very important. The scoring system is important. So pay attention. They say for the first 0 to 59 minutes, everybody will receive 1 point. Players that play the entire 90 minutes will receive 2 points. Goals from a goalkeeper is 10 points, from a defender is 6, from a midfielder is 5, from a forward is 4. So you want to get midfielders that they score plenty. Yes, the forward will score, but midfielders bring an extra point. Even if you get a defender that does get up in the box plenty, win plenty headers, or a team that does win plenty headers and score from set pieces, especially with the defenders because they're tall, you get them in because you know they will give you points if they score. An assist is 3 points across the board for each part of the team. A clean sheet for the goalkeeper is 4 points. So make sure you get a proper goalkeeper with a proper defense to help him out. You need to get good defenders. Clean sheet for a midfielder is 1 extra point, and a forward, it doesn't affect them. 0 points. Own goal, -2 across the board. Yellow card, -1 across the board. Red card, -3 across the board. Missed penalty, -2 across the board, no matter who takes it. Saved penalty is also. Oh, no, check this out. So a saved penalty is 5 points, which is cool. Oh my, that is interesting. I'm not too sure how that does work. I know usually the goalkeeper would get. All right. I understand what I mean. So let's say the keeper, the proxy keeper at the time, meaning the keeper who is keeping the penalty, saves it. No matter if it's a forward, whoever in the goal, they will get the 5 points. I believe that is what it is, because I don't think a defender. I don't think once a keeper save, everybody gets points. I've got another jolly to give away points like that. Penalty committed is -1 across the board, meaning you foul a person in the box, yeah, you will get -1 to your points. For every goal conceded, no, for every 2 goal conceded, the goalkeeper and the defender will get -1 point. For every save, for every 2 save, the keeper will get 1 point. What else? For every clearance by the defender, for every 5 clearance, 1 point for everybody. For every duel won, for every 4 duels won is 1 extra point. for everybody across the board. For every 2 key passes from every person is 1 extra point. And for every, whoa, that is nice. For every 2 shots on target is 1 point. So that is where your striker could get points in. Make sure your striker and your team itself have a high XG rate. A high XG value mean, the expected goals. I know hit shots at the goal plenty, even if they're missing. Even if the keeper saving, you know, they will start getting points to that because it's on target, and every 2 shots on target is 1 point, which is good, at least for the outfield players, not the goalkeeper. All right, so let's move on. Goals conceded, blah blah blah. All players are credited goals conceded during the time they are on the field. So if I have a player and he's on the field while a goal is scored and he's like a midfielder, say it's like 2-0 down, he will get a -1. However, if he was subbed off before the goal score, he will get the clean sheet even though the team is down a goal. This is basically the point. Same thing we talk about up above with own goals. Assists. Nothing much really to go through here. Nothing much. Transfers. Let's see this. After having created your team, you can buy, sell, and transfer players until the deadline. They say you'll be able to make unlimited transfers without any hit points. If you join in the middle of a competition, you will also have unlimited transfers in the period between creating your team and the deadline of the next game week. So that's okay, cool, interesting. So for game week in the group stage, you get 2 free chances apparently, and then after for game week 4, you get unlimited chances. So that before the round of 16, you get unlimited chances, which is nice. Then after it is saying that you get 8 chances, followed by 8 chances, followed by 8 chances, which is nice. In the game weeks where you don't use all your free chances, 1 free chance will roll over. It won't be possible to carry more than 1 week. So if you have 2 free chances in game week 2, and you don't use any, you'll only have 3 chances available for the next. Okay, so the 2 given by the rule and the 1 you can carry over. You would never be allowed to have 4. At least that is in the beginning of the game weeks here. For each additional transfer after one available for that game week will have a point hit minus. So that is just like FPL. You're bringing a player after you exceed the amount of free chances you get, you would have to get a -4 point hit, which is, I'm about getting hits. This have a wild card too, nice. So each manager will have access to 1 wild card. Now we all know the wild card is. It's like a reset button on your team. You hit the wild card, you pick over an entire team without any hits, anything like that. Your whole new team comes in and that's it. It replaces your old one. That is basically what it is. Player prices. That's the same thing I was talking about earlier on. So they say player prices change during the season according to the supply and demand of the transfer market. Player price only changes after game week 1, and players can only gain or lose 0.1 million a day. Damn, a day. And for a maximum of 0.3 each game week, which is interesting. Okay. Alright. So if somebody has you want to get your players in early that you know would be there for a long time, because you don't want to buy them when the hell are expensive. Okay? Buying and selling players. If a player has increased his value while in your team, you'll be able to keep 50% of that valuation when you transfer him out and improve your team budget. Exactly what I indicated earlier about billing. If a player does very well and you choose to sell him to maybe like bring in another player and still have extra funds to bring in a better player in another position, you could do that, which is nice. I like that. For example, if a player costs 5 million and is currently valued at 5.2, and you sell, and then you sell, the value showing the chances 5.1 already, taking into consideration the point 1. So you will gain the point 1. So that basically just like FPL. It basically is the same thing. Africa Fantasy. The overall ranking will be ordered according to the accumulated score of each team game week after game week. Teams are only scored from the moment they are created, hence the importance of starting to earn points since the first game week. In case of any ties during the competition, at the end of the following, the criteria will be applied. More goals scored, least goals conceded, lowest budget, oh, alright, least number made, transfer, least transfers made. So, that is basically like keeping your chances. You don't use them. Yeah, they keeping that in account. Um, Least discipline points. That probably like red cards and yellow cards, fouls. Yeah. If you have like the least of that, like if you have players who pick up a lot of cards, I guess that could knock you off and knock you down, depending on how things go. If you have like a tie or something between two persons, I guess that's the same. The oldest team in the competition, wow, they really want a winner there. And the game week squad was created. Well, I created my squad a while now, in a sense, but I editing it over, so I don't know if that would affect the date and the timeline that my squad was created. Besides the overall leaderboard, there'll be a following with the ranking tables, group stage, knockouts, blah blah blah. Okay, leaderboard. This is here. I don't think we need to really go more into this. You can sign up one team in the African Fantasy and register extra on registration of so if you want to register extra team to like have two teams, you have to pay some cash. They say it's only for premium users only. Prizes. Well, we don't need to go that. Blah blah blah. Image right, mobile, and that is basically it. So this is part 1 of the video where we went over the rules, where I told you I was going to select my team. I'm going to release a part 2 right after, where I'll show you the team that I have, and we will move from there in terms of making our team. Okay? So thank you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for listening.